Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Knowledge. In this episode, we're going to team up with Jamie Stevens and the 2020 Fame team, and also Paul Dennison, the project leader of Project Colour. As you know, projects are one of the key pillars of our opportunity and our creativity. And they truly do become one of the best experiences that anyone who goes on them in their hairdressing career. So we've taken the unprecedented decision in these uncertain times to make sure that we really do deliver a great experience for everybody on them. So we've extended all of the teams, including Fame Team and Clubstar Art Team, and across the projects to become the 2021 teams too. And that way, then, we truly believe that they will still walk away with a fantastic experience. So let me hand you over to Jamie and enjoy.
Hi everybody, Jamie Stevens here, the mentor of the Fame Team 2020. Super excited to be on The Knowledge, and joining me will be the current Fame Team 2020, Brooke, Casey, Brandon and Jose. But just a little message in this terrible time, this pandemic, which is horrible across the world, but mainly really affecting our industry. We have decided in these unprecedented times, it only fair, because of some cancellations going to be happening, that we have decided that the Fame Team 2020 will also be Fame Team 2021. So without further ado, let's welcome Casey, Brooke, Jose and Brandon. Woo! Hello, guys.
Hi.
How's things? Are you firstly keeping well?
Yeah, definitely. You got to keep positive. Let's try and get some stuff done that you don't normally get to have done, and we'll see it through and we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's like at home with my mum is going to be quite difficult. So, but honestly, it's just trying to, I'm actually just taking a bit of time for myself at the moment, and just using it as a chill time.
First kind of big day that we did together was with me, and then we've done some amazing other days. When we all got together, it sort of my salon, what was the sort of biggest thing that you kind of took away from that day? Jose?
So I guess that day for me was really about getting to know each other a bit better. I feel like obviously throughout the process, I didn't really know Brooke that much, but then Brandon, Casey and I, we were in the auditions the year before, and then also get to know you as well, because we all know you through the industry, but personally, I didn't. I had met you apart from the events, but that was kind of like, it's just sort of, Casey explained it really well. I think he said something like, 5 mates that just sort of got together and just hang out and did some like cool things and kind of get to know and bond, basically.
Brandon?
Yeah, it was a really great time when we came to your salon. It was nice, it was informal, it was really relaxed. And, I love the team challenges together. Obviously, this is the first time we're all meeting together. And we did that whole gown challenge that Jamie proposed. That was great.
So for me, to be part of a team with such an array of people is one thing. So actually seeing us merge together as a team and coming together really and having a laugh and seeing what we're going to do for the year, it was nice. And it was nice to see that the team that we'd got, we all get on really well. So it's good.
Casey?
I think the first day that we spent together was initially quite daunting, obviously because we've got you, Jamie, you've got such a reputation, and then obviously you've got the guys and Brooke as well.
A good one.
I'm not saying anything. I'll let your reputation precede you, Jamie, and that's all I'll say. But no, initially going into the day, it was actually quite nerve-wracking for me because I tried out for Fame Team 4 times. So it was quite a surreal day for me. But actually, it turned out to be what was an incredible day of team building and getting to know the guys a little bit better and understanding what we were going to do over the next year, or now, as I understand, the next 2 years.
The next day that we did was with Sylvestre Finauld. Brandon, I'm going to come to you specifically because he is obviously known for his avant-garde skills. You know, you're known, you know, your love, your passion, all of your sort of Insta is primarily, you know, very beautiful precision graphic hairdressing work. How much did that blow your mind? What did you take away?
So the day was Sylvestre. First of all, I am a massive fan of his, and I have been for a few years now. I do love avant-garde. I don't like to do lots of it. I like to do a piece throughout the year because, you know, the stress and how much goes into avant-garde is just, I think I would have a heart attack if I had to put a collection together. But the day with Sylvestre, oh my God, he broke everything down so eloquently, and I learned so much. So much so that I was actually going to seriously consider entering Avant-Garde BHA this year. You know, he showed you some key techniques, but from those key techniques, you know, as stylists, our creative mind takes over. And, you know, I definitely know that me and Casey, the gears were going. And, you know, I've just got so many ideas and so much I'd like to experiment with.
Jose?
I guess for me was how again, like what Brandon was saying, how he broke down everything. And the most interesting thing for me of what he does is the silhouettes that he creates, because I feel like that's something that I'm really into. So even though I've never really done any avant-garde, or I don't feel like I haven't done anything like that before, but I feel like that was definitely something that I could bring into what I'm hoping to, that is going to become my style, is sort of my signature look. So I guess for me, and also like he's such a nice guy. He's got the most beautiful hands. The way he touches things is so
easy.
It's just really
easy.
It's just like really soft. It's just like we kind of, when we saw that thing, you know, the look that he created for us, he was just coming along, and it was just like magic happening right there in front of us. And he was just like, okay, yeah, just do it like this. So it was actually really, really amazing to see it there in you know, flesh, basically. So
I think
that was really
he
amazing.
is just effortless in his touch, you know, the softness. He's just just boom. Right, let's move on. Sally, beautiful ex-British hairdresser of the year, Brooks.
She is literally another level, isn't she? Honestly.
She's all right.
Absolutely.
She's pretty good. She's pretty good.
Okay. I think sometimes the way that she makes, again, it's not about the hair for me. Even though she's an incredible hairdresser, I mean, the way that she approaches her creative projects, I'm sure because I think Brooke took away something quite cool from this session, actually. But Sally makes you feel like you belong somewhere, and there's something about her that, I don't know, it's just so genuine, yet she's just so really cool. And she's really cool. She's, you know, I don't know why I sound so surprised. I mean, she has been British hairdresser of the year, but that day with her and Jamie was absolutely incredible. Her approach to creative projects has really kind of changed my focus. And instead of me finding inspiration from one place, I now completely switch it up and look somewhere else, because it's not always the obvious place that you should be looking in a Brooke.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, it was a game changer for me. I mean, I was so looking forward to having a day with her anyway, but I literally sat there and almost to a whole new level. Like, I actually felt a bit of emotional the way she was speaking about hair. Like, to her, like, it's life, hairdressing. And
some ideas with her, and she is so lovely and so helpful, and just the advice and knowledge that you know, Sally shared with us in itself was invaluable. Like, for example, she was talking about, you know, the importance of having the touch. And I completely agree. I think as hairdressers, you know, we're constantly refining our craft, But at some stage in your career, I feel personally, there needs to come a time where you incorporate that touch into your work. And that touch is something like, for example, Jamie knows backstage, Jose, where you've got to put together a look in a short amount of time and it's got to look amazing. So it's really important to be constantly honing and refining your craft. So if those instances do occur, you've got the touch and it's a lot more easy to work with.
Jose?
Yeah, I guess Brandon explained it really well. I think that the touch thing that she kind of wanted to work on, and I think what I took the most from the day is I feel, and I think we all agree with that, is that I actually feel like because of the day we had together with her, we kind of got to know each other better. Like I felt like she kind of touched on like things that were very core to our ethos, and not only just as a hairdresser and as a professional, but on a personal note. I learned things from Brandon. I learned things from Casey. I learned things from Brooke, and I think they all learned things from me. And it was really funny because there was a moment where she was kind of describing different types of personalities, and I think we already kind of know each other. We started to get to know each other quite well, and I think everyone sort of like laughed because we were kind of looking at each other when she was pointing out different traits that you could find in a team, And I felt like she's definitely someone who has that natural way about her where I think she just gets the best out of people in a very nice way. She's so humble. So it was actually very amazing to see. And also in a way you kind of think like, oh my God, I'm a long way far away from like being at that level.
After our day, then the next thing, which is obviously really daunting, was we had an amazing slot on the fellowship stage at Pro Hair Live Manchester. So not only the first time you would have been on stage as a 4, but I think we spoke about it was the first kind of time that, for me, sort of managing, another sort of team and guiding, we went a little bit hard with it. So we didn't just decide to do one model, we did 2 models each and really, really pushed the boundaries. So
yeah, I mean, like for me, it's always daunting doing stage work. It's always a little bit more scary for me. I can speak this, but what was really cool was seeing everyone's like ideas come to life a little bit. Now I had a model that came with hair color that actually she didn't say was that hair color, so it's kind of like the generic hairdressing moment of, oh, let's think on the spot and let's try and create something within the idea of what we had, and try and accentuate what she already had, and I think the experience of being on team and seeing the dynamic on stage of everyone gelling together and just creating some banging hair was cool. Yeah.
Banging.
Yeah,
it was banging. It was bloody lush. It was
bloody lush. So for me, you guys, nailed it, instantly worked together. Just share some things with the guys watching, some, highlights, maybe some lowlights, things you love, things if you would do differently. Jose.
Okay, so I think Manchester for me was, for all of us, I think it was just so great. And I really, truly felt, and also the feedback that I feel like I got even from my colleagues in Hair and Bone, it was that it really sort of showed what we were about, and I think it has definitely set the tone for who we are as a team. And obviously that is going to improve and evolve and change throughout the process, but I feel like when you looked at what we did together, it was so unique, as in like each individual, you could see their styles like coming through so defined. And at the same time, I felt like I actually felt, and I hope that the audience kind of felt the same, but we did really work together. We really helped each other, and it felt like, I think obviously that is something that you helped a lot, Jamie, because you were there right behind, like, you know, making sure that we were like everything was coming along, but at the same time constantly checking, you know, like I remember you coming to me saying, so what is this look and what is this look, and giving the same answer all the time. But I feel like that's exactly what we need. We need that one person that is just there for you, and he's going like, okay, this. So it was really, really amazing.
Right, so now let's move on to your whole audition process throughout becoming a Fame Team member. So again, some highs, some lows, and just share with some guys on here that'll be watching that maybe don't know what the process is, you know, how hard, how easy, how daunting, how much pressure, how much time, how much preparation you need to do. Casey.
Like I said, over the past 6 years, I've tried 4 times. So I'm no stranger to the audition process. But what I've actually learned is I get more of a kick.
Oh, Casey, let me just ask you a question.
Oh.
If you weren't successful on this audition, would you have done it again?
So
yes, you would have, wouldn't you?
Do you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. I've tried so many times that it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to just say no. And initially, if straight after that, I would have come out of it and said, no, I'm not doing it again. But a month down the line, I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to do it again. Because there's something that pulls you into that kind of the process. And I don't want to say that I'm a workhorse, but I'm a workhorse, and I go at it and I go at it until I get what I want. And I think that working as hard as I have to get onto Fame Team, the proof is in the pudding. I've tried 4 times. If I hadn't gotten on, I would have said I'm not doing it for another 2 months. But then when that audition would have come out, when those dates would have come out, my email would have been off the first day that they would have announced it, because I know that I just can't not do it. It's such an incredible opportunity to just deny.
And now you're going to, you're going to be in it for like 2 years.
The funny thing is, all of this time that I've auditioned, and I'm now getting 2 years and not 1, which is hilarious.
It's brutal. I won't lie. You go in there feeling prepared, like you've known about this for a few months. You've got your models, you've got your makeup, your ideas and everything. And then all of a sudden you go in there and what the plan was changes because they want to see you sweat a little bit. So I remember like my model, and they were like, you've got to have her into hair now. She'd only got a base makeup on. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. It's over for me. But you plow on through, and I'm really lucky that I got on first time. Sorry, but after I don't know. You have a lot of self-doubt, especially when you're going up against some of these names that are in the industry, like Casey, Jose, that have done Brandon. They've all done it before, and I was thinking, I'm at a massive disadvantage here anyway. I've not done the process before. So for me, I'd never expected to get on in all the world. So I was buzzing when I found out that I got through the semi-finals, let alone the finals.
Brooke, I'm just going to retract something you said, because you said I'm lucky that I got through on my first time. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So it's not luck. You deserve to get in there a reason.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to be honest. I didn't think I was going to make it through, and I we were talking, me, Jose, Brooke, and Casey, while we were at the luncheon. And Jose called it. Jose knew. I think he was on the inside. He was like, it's gonna be me, it's gonna be you, it's gonna be Casey, it's gonna be Brooke. And I was like, no way. I just didn't like my hair up. My look that I had planned in my mind was dependent on my model not having layers. She came, her hair was heavily layered, and I just thought, crap. So on the day, I wasn't entirely happy with my look, and we went to the luncheon, and I didn't feel too good about it. And then when I got called, I just could not believe it. And, I was crying. So all of those photos that we've got from the luncheon, I look like a turtle in them.
Jose?
So I guess for me was because it was a bit of a long process, because before being with Herringbone, I haven't actually done anything that had that sort of presence. Like, I feel like some of the guys, Brandon, Casey, they've already done a lot of stuff and they're already on stage and they're already doing those things. So so it took a couple of goes. First time I applied, didn't even get to finals. But yeah, I mean, the process, I am incredibly lucky because working with Sam and also having Jamie Benny as the artistic director, and he's been literally behind me. He's like a hooligan that will just sort of like cheer you up and make sure that you're doing the right things and the right moves. So everything I did was my ideas, but I had those two people right beside me, like elevating everything I wanted to do, and they have so much experience, both of them together, that in that sense, I do feel like I am really, really lucky, because obviously I have already like two great mentors in the salon, in the company, and then now I have you. So it's just amazing to have that support throughout all the process.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for giving up your time. Please stay safe, enjoy your rest, and no doubt I will speak to you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, what an incredible journey they've had in such a short space of time. I said right at the beginning of this year that I felt that this Fame team was going to be unique and special. So it's great for all of us to know that we're going to be seeing them for a lot longer. Next up, we obviously teamed up with Paul Dennison. He's a member of my team, and he's been the project leader for Project Colour for the last, this is his second year. And we're delighted to let you know that he's going to extend his mentorship through into next year as the teams are going to involve. So let's welcome and enjoy Project Colour.
Thanks, Ken. So let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Dennison, and obviously I work with Ken in Ken Pixon Salon, and I head up the Project Colour for the fellowship. So I'm joined today by two of our members and team members. We've got Daryl Starkey and we've got Scott Musgrove, and they're going to be talking all things colour with us today, how they're finding being in isolation, and also everything that they've done with the Colour project so far, and we look forward to sharing that with you. So, hi guys, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been maybe hairdressing? Because I know you've both got quite different stories. We'll kind of try and touch on them as we go through, but just a brief overview of who you are and where you're from and what brought you here today, really.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Paul. So I'm in Stamford, which is Lincolnshire, same county as Daryl, but I'm a senior stylist in a salon in the town, which I went back to. I did a bit of travelling a few years ago and worked abroad, and then I came back to Stamford, worked in the salon as senior stylist, and then since then I've kind of got engrossed and got on the fellowship and got trying to get part of teams, and just gone from there really with hairdressing.
Because you travelled around, was it New Zealand as well, wasn't it? And you were cutting hair over there?
That's right, Paul. Yeah. So, I did about 10 months over there and worked in Auckland for about 6 months. Yeah.
Was it very different to working here in the UK?
No, not the work. I was in quite an upmarket little suburb, so the work wasn't entirely different. It was quite a big colour salon actually, but it was good. Yeah.
So, did you see the kind of the trends, all the things that we have here? You know, was balayage quite big? Was it a similar style of hairdressing to the UK, would you say?
I'd say so, Paul. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of blondes, and balayages coming in. So, like I say, it was quite a big colour salon, a lot of highlights, which you still see a lot of. It was mainly blondes that were going out. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Perfect. And over to you as well, Daryl. Do you want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Daryl Starkey-Gettins. I'm a salon owner of Taylor's Hair Studio in Skegness, Lincolnshire. I've had my salon 3 years now. And before that, I was freelance, so I did mobile hairdressing. Started when I was 17, but actually qualified a bit later after that because the person I was working for went bankrupt.
Oh, no.
So I stayed in the industry, but I had to then work out what I wanted to do, and then went back into the industry, and then been part of the fellowship for 2-3 years now, aiming to get on the Project Colour, and then this year got it. So
amazing.
Yeah.
So well, that's going to link us really nicely into our first question that I have for you guys, really. And the first question I have for you today is, and we'll stay with you, Zach, Daryl, if you can answer this one first. How did you hear about the fellowship?
So Salon International was one of the first places I heard about the fellowship. Coming for years, obviously fellowship was always there. That was before social media. It was only really when I become a salon owner that I felt that I wanted to get into the fellowship, like join the fellowship more, as the opportunities they offered was more in line with what I wanted to do for my business and for myself.
You're at Salon International and you saw the kind of fellowship stage, and you kind of
I wanted to, that's one stage I want to get onto. So obviously with the Project Colour, it was like finally I was getting to stand on that stage at Salon International, and hopefully we can still do that this year. If not, we'll do it in 2021.
Yeah, well, who knows what the future will
think so.
Yeah.
We are in quite uncertain times at the moment, so we'll have to see. I think this is going to be quite a big, obviously, the situation that we're going through at the moment, and we'll kind of come on to that more towards the end of the session. But I think we're going to see some big changes after this in the way the industry works and things. But to Scott as well, like how did you hear about the fellowship?
So I've been involved with the fellowship a couple of years, Paul. So I just started going to events down in London, evenings, and then I kind of was reading the magazines that we get sent through monthly. And then I did apply for Project X 20 last year, so 2019. Yeah, I did get on. I did get accepted, but in circumstances I couldn't do it. And then it was like by the end of last year, I thought I want to put myself on something for this year. So that's why I applied for Project Colour. Yeah,
amazing. And that's going to bring us on to our kind of second question as well. And I'll stick with you, Scott, there. You said you attended events. Which events was it that got you kind of interested into the fellowship? And do you remember going to any particular ones and seeing things there?
I went to a couple of members' nights, Paul, and then at each one of them, whoever's hosting them tends to touch on the other side and the other bits to what the fellowship offers and what you can get involved with. And that's why I went away and kind of did a bit of research and started looking into it.
Amazing. I know we run throughout the year. We've got a whole calendar of events really running throughout the year. Members nights, we've got colour night, we've also got hair and vision as well. Daryl, had you attended any of those before you joined the fellowship? Was that something that maybe lured you in, do you think?
My favourite event from the whole portfolio is colour night. Like having up to 12 different people up on stage showing you 12 different techniques. That got me excited. Because I'm a colourist and that's what I want to do in future. Yeah. So that was one event I really, really did enjoy.
And did you do? You've recently done Members Night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that in January?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you find the transition from being in the audience to being on the stage there?
Because it's a small thing, it's quite nice. Obviously, the feedback that you get is so much better. Because it was such an intimate event. I enjoyed it. Obviously, we've rebooked as a team to go back on the next one. Yeah, all being well. Obviously, that may be postponed, but we've gone back because it was good, and it's good to get feedback to know what you can improve on.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we were really hoping, and I've been kind of talking with Anne Herman, who obviously runs the Colour Night, about having Colour Project at Colour Night, which would be coming up in July, but again, who knows what will be kind of happening with that. But there will be an opportunity for. I think it's really important that we have a presence at Colour Night. Seems that we are Project Colour. You know, one of my things that I said to the guys in the Creative Council was, I think, it'd be really good to kind of get us involved with that, whether it's just a quick presentation or, but having a presence there would be really good, especially to the audience, to let them know a little bit about what we do on Project Colour as well. So I'm going to put it to both of you. Maybe we'll go back to Daryl first for this one. Why Project Colour? What enticed you into that? What is it about it which kind of caught your attention?
For me, last year, Paul, I'm not giving you a big head or anything, but you really did change Project Colour for the better. Okay. It just seemed to be everywhere, and you heard about Project Colour more. So I really wanted to do it. Obviously, I was excited to work with Robert Eaton, doing the photo shoot, and then to learn off some industry experts that really it cost thousands of pounds to go and work with. So it was nice to actually do that and to be part of a group to do that as well. Yeah,
perfect. I think and I will talk about last year's Colour Project as well in a bit, but the idea, especially with Colour Project, and for those people who are maybe watching this who want to get a bit of an insight into what we have planned for the year, we've had days with Mazzella and Partner already, and we've done presentation skills with Simon Shaw. We were going to be shooting with Robert, obviously, and he was going to do a mentor day, Robert Eaton, which is current British Hairdresser of the Year. We had days lined up with Jack Howard. We had Grace and Marlon from Brooks and Brooks. I'm trying to think who else we had in there. With the portfolio for this year, with Rush, Anthony and Guy. So what I wanted to do with the Colour Project, and when I first became the project leader, or was tasked with being the project leader, was to kind of think, right, who would I like to have days with? Because I want to elevate the Colour Project up to the next level and get the real top kind of industry mentors and the people who are doing really, really big kind of things. So that's what I wanted to kind of maybe deliver to you. So unfortunately, obviously this year is going to be a bit hard, but I'm hoping, and I've liaised with a lot of the mentors from that were supposed to be on this year, and they've kind of said that they'd be quite interested in doing next year as well. So hopefully we can get them all back for next year as well. So that's a bit of silver lining. Yeah. But just why Colour Project for you? Obviously, maybe coming from, like you said, you were a cutting background.
Yeah.
Was colour something you feel like you kind of wanted to maybe kind of learn more about, or expand your kind of technical skill set, really, I guess?
Yeah, exactly, Paul. Yeah. So only really recently, since I did my MCE with Weller last year, completed that probably a year ago, September. So 2019 again. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's
lost track of days already.
Yeah, lose track and years. That's what kind of, since I kind of pushed myself into doing that, and then that really expanded my knowledge, I suppose. And then I just wanted to move on and see what else was out there in the colour world, I guess. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So just harking back to what you were saying, Daryl, just then, did you follow the journey of last year's team? Did you see the kind of, obviously you probably saw the images that we shot with Robert. They kind of went all over the place. We were getting magazine covers from all over the world, and they were getting featured in in some really great kind of industry publications. We didn't expect it to have the results and the exposure that it did, but we were really grateful for everyone kind of sharing it and putting it into their magazines. Did you guys kind of hear about the project through social media and things like that, or was it something that you'd always kind of thought, I'm going to work towards that one?
For me, last year, there was a few people in the industry that I was friends with that were actually on project teams, so like Project X and Project Colour.
Yeah.
So I followed it a lot through them, because obviously they were posting it quite often. With you, Paul, you had like Georgia Bell, Leah Shaw, all those, and I follow those on Instagram. So I got to follow their journey through that, and obviously getting to see what they got up to and who they got to work with. And I came to the final night as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So I got to see like the full things from where they come and what they got to.
Amazing. Yeah, we had a really good year last year. They're a really great team. Unfortunately, a couple of people kind of dropped along the way due to illness and moving and things like that. But yeah, I think the team really bonded, and that's one thing that I was really hoping for you guys over the year is that you all kind of have you all gel as a team, which I really think you kind of already have. Looking at the 2 days that we've had and the WhatsApp group and stuff, I think it's really starting to happen there.
Stuck with us for 2 years now.
yeah, you're talking with me. Scott, what did you follow much of last year's kind of team?
I saw plenty of images on Instagram, Paul, where I thought the pictures looked amazing. I thought, I want to try and get a piece of that if I can. I think a lot of them were Robert Eaton images and Jack Howard images. Yeah, so great lineup, and I think that's, again, like Darryl says, it just makes you think that you want to try and get involved in it if you can.
Yeah, the good thing with having social media is that we can, the one thing I'd probably encourage you guys to do as well is to share what you've been kind of doing potentially on that day with like stories and posts on Instagram and Facebook. And we did actually have a hashtag last year, which was Colour Project 19, but obviously this year it was Project Colour 20 because we changed the names around. So for anyone who Instagram and look at hashtag Colour Project 19, then you'll be able to see all the images from last year. But then if you go on Project Colour 20, hashtag Project Colour 20, you're going to see everything that the guys are doing this year as well. So out of the year that we had lined up, did you have a particular day that you were really kind of looking forward to?
Yeah, for me, the photo shoot. It was just to, obviously, Robert Eaton, a lovely bloke. I've met him, speak to him daily sometimes, and it was just so exciting to actually be on set with someone so talented, like British Hairdresser of the Year, to be able to work with someone like that, to get that knowledge is priceless. So for me, that was the most exciting part.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I guess, like when, for example, when I shoot, or when us as a team in Ken Picton shoot together, we're a tight-knit group and we all know each other very well, and we know how it's going to kind of work throughout the day. And we've shot with our photographer a lot of times, we work with the makeup artist and everything. So when we all get together, it's kind of like a family getting back together. And you go to Salon International and you see all these amazing British Hair Award collections and images, and you kind of, it's almost like sometimes having on the shoot day, being a voyeur of that can really kind of give you a major insight into how other people do it, which was really quite interesting. So the day shooting with Robert and Richard Miles, who did the photography, was really insightful for me as the mentor, just to see how someone else was shooting and the different techniques maybe that they use to get different results. But for the team, it was incredible because they get to have a hands-on experience. And that was something that we were really hoping for you guys this year. Darryl, I'm going to touch on your shoot that you've done recently as well in a bit. But, I think, Scott, have you ever done much kind of in the way of like photographic work or anything?
No, not especially, Paul. I mean, I helped Darryl with his shoot recently last week.
Yes.
And that's the first time I've really, probably a couple of times, but that's the first time I've really got involved with anything like that, I guess. Yeah, loved it. Great day.
How did the day go, Darryl? How did you?
Luckily, we managed to get it in, didn't we?
Yeah,
before this kicked off.
They closed the venue the week after. It was good. It was a really eye-opening experience because everything I had planned when I got there on the day, Scott will understand, is I scrapped everything.
Yeah.
Everything I planned, we were then literally just pinning wefts and then getting my razor out and just cutting and pinning, and it came together quite well for something that wasn't like I had plans, but it came out well. And obviously Scott and Nicola Ham, who assisted me, did amazing because I was able to leave them on set with the models once we'd done it. So we'd worked together, and then I'd left Scott on set with the model, and I could come back to the prep room and carry on prepping the next model. So it's nice, especially like it gives them the opportunity as well to work on set, and like the images are coming out this week, I'm hoping, so they'll be amazing.
Yeah, I've seen the ones that you put into our group chat, and they look really, really strong. So yeah, I'm looking forward to you sharing them with the industry as well. But sometimes the best laid plans go to the wayside a little bit, don't they, on a shoot?
Yeah.
Something which you think, oh, this is going to be great and this is going to work really well. On the day, you get it on set and it doesn't look anything like how you thought it would, and then you completely rip up the plan and you change it. But that's something really nice, and that happens really quite organically sometimes, and you go in a different direction to what you initially thought you were, and then you end up with something completely different, but if not better, because it's more natural, really, sometimes, I feel.
Yeah, there was a moment where Scott was on set with one of the models. He came down to me to the prep room, and he's like, the photographer's saying this hairline, because we used a wig, was too harsh.
Yeah.
And you go into panic mode. I literally just grabbed a hair piece that we had ready, took it up to set and pinned it in. And I think that's my favourite image. And that's just from on set, the photographer saying the hairline is too harsh for like the image, and just pinning this one piece. It's incredible.
Sometimes, like, especially like with doing the shoot with Robert and everything as well last year, I know the team got a little kind of glimpse into the behind the scenes kind of doing a shoot as well, which all those little hints and tips and tricks that you can get, for example, like pinning a weft around to the hairline, which in an image you wouldn't really know, but like as a live model, it's not going to look too good. But when you think in 2D as opposed to 3D, it really makes a big kind of difference to everything, doesn't it? Yeah. So the 2 days that we had with Colour Project so far, we had the one day with Fanette from Mozilla and Partner, and we had that in Goldwell. And then the other day we had with Simon Shaw, who does presentation skills, and we held that in the GHD Academy. Out of the two of those, like, what have you kind of learned from them, and have you implemented that into your day-to-day working practices?
It was about just the paneling, that just a simple panel can create a look, make it look a lot more expensive. And I did put that into the photo shoot as well, which you'll see when it comes out. For me, with Simon Shaw, it just reassured me that you don't need to plan too much when you've got a presentation. Sometimes it's okay to freeball when you're talking, because I always panic that if I've got to remember something, I'm going to go to pot. So he just like clarified that, no, that's fine. If you have bullet points, but it doesn't matter. Don't set yourself too much, like, is in a script, because that's when you go, yes.
I got him, I think sometimes as well, when you're especially with presenting, if you know, I know this is something that we talked about on the day with Simon, when you're too kind of rigid and you're very much, it's very rehearsed and stuff, it doesn't feel as natural as if you can just relax into it and let that flow, you know, a little bit like how we have now. It's quite a natural conversation, isn't it? Which is generally what you want to kind of have with the audience as well. And Scott, how did you feel? Have you implemented any of those? I know you were quite keen to practice presenting. Have you managed?
Have I done anything on it since? God, how many weeks has it been? I've done
only about
a bit. I know. I've tried to do bits, Paul. Yeah, I really enjoyed the day. I really took a lot out of the day, and I've tried to do bits at home, even, you know, just on your own a little bit, and bits in with the juniors at the salon. But I think it's something that you have to make a conscious effort that you're going to enforce in yourself, else you probably won't follow it on. But if that makes sense.
I think the plan, especially like moving forward, because the last day that we had was with Simon in February before the obviously we all got locked down. But the idea was really then moving forward was to get you presenting at every date that we had. To, you know, we'd obviously maybe have the opportunity at Colour Night to present there, and obviously being on stage at Sunderland International, as well as having the finale evening. So those are three big kind of stages to kind of be on, really, and the idea was to try and get you guys onto them to give you that confidence, and I know that Simon does a really good job of making it not as scary, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I made a list, Paul, of like potential times where I could be presenting down the line in the year, and obviously with what's happened, it's all just gone up in the air, but I know it's crazy.
So I'm going to come on to a next question. This is maybe it can be quite open, so kind of feel free to kind of talk and expand on this a little bit. But the fellowship and being in the fellowship, what does it mean to you as a hairdresser, really, I guess.
Scott. Yeah, me. Fine.
First, really.
So for me, being part of the fellowship, it's just broadened my horizon. I'm from a little seaside town that, if I say Skegness, everyone's like, where's that? So it takes me a good 3-4 hours to get to London when I need to come to London to do things, but it's just allowing me to make connections, to do events, and it's actually opened my exposure to the industry as well. So it's allowing me to be able to do a lot more stuff in the industry that I want to do, rather than just be a salon hairdresser.
Yeah.
Because I want to do other stuff. I want to do stage work because I love doing it. So it's allowing me to do all that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think with what you say, that I watched the video from The Knowledge, which was back in the last year, Paul, and at a time whoever was speaking said that just look at the people that have come through from being in the fellowship, and now look at the names, and every single one of them has now gone on to become a name, a house on, not a house on, a name in hairdressing. And I think that really hit home for me, where we are within the fellowship. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you guys were there last year. On the fellowship stage, they had the Fame Team Legends, and that was just incredible. Like 4 really incredible hairdressers who are all ex-Fame Team members on stage together, creating some amazing hair. But it is incredible when you see, and I know Clive was just saying, they've had obviously the Fame Team on this morning. But the Fame Team is such an amazing project, which everyone who's really come off that has gone on to do really amazing things in the industry. And with Colour Project, I wanted to kind of elevate the colorists to that kind of level, where I want you all to, when you finish the project, feel that you've been given the tools to go out there and kind of conquer the industry, really, in a way. To you guys as well, obviously COVID-19 has had a huge impact onto how we live our lives every day, but obviously Daryl is a business owner, and Scott, you're employed in a salon. How are you guys seeing the future? Bleak.
Yeah, it's a uncertainty. Yeah, I'm just making sure that I'm keeping my salon. I was gonna potentially do some work on the salon, getting it ready to reopen, but then when we've actually gone to buy the stuff, everywhere's like not selling anything anymore. So now it's sort of I'm just creating vlogs, being in touch with my junior, mainly my junior, is to send them videos and getting them to look at the knowledge, because it is open for everyone at the moment, to allow them to still educate. Because at the minute, I'm already a qualified hairdresser, it's fine, I've got my skills. But for my junior, it's sort of like she was ready to qualify this year.
Yeah.
And she may not qualify now. So it's a scary time for them, especially when they put like 3 years into their education. So it's just allowing her to look at the videos on the knowledge. And there's a lot of free education going around at the minute as well. So just to keeping that up. Yeah. So sent her plenty of dolls and equipment for her to work with.
Yeah. And Scott, how do you... How are things with you there?
Well, I was actually due to get my keys to my. I've got a shop, Paul, and I was due to get keys. Yeah, last week, and luckily I managed to. I saw it kind of coming, and I got in touch with the landlord and I said, "Are we able to put a delay on it?" And thankfully, he was okay with it. This was before I haven't come out of the shop I'm working in, so I was still. Yeah, it's just been put back on hold, and we'll see where we are when it all dies down. But I've had a bit of a turn, really, a bit of luck, really, I suppose.
Yeah, that was maybe dodged a bullet slightly there.
I think so. I could have been out of work, mate, and then not having a salon to go back to. God.
Yeah, it's such a. I was saying to my girlfriend last night. Every time you turn the news on, it feels like you're in an episode of Black Mirror or something. It's really strange times, and I've also got a teenager at home, and I was saying to him, these are things which in future generations will probably learn about in history lessons. So we're kind of living through that history at the moment. It's real uncharted waters for us all, I think, really. And the scary thing is that no one really knows how long this is going to really go on for. On the news yesterday, we're talking about 6 months, and you think, whoa, so as an industry, I think we're all we're all creative, but we're all like stuck at home. And like I've taken a bit of time to kind of just relax a little bit, maybe slow the pace down slightly. But I have been kind of looking over social media and seeing what people are doing. And there is obviously so much out there on social media. Are you guys kind of creating content, or are you watching content? Obviously, we have the knowledge, which, like you say, Darryl, has been opened up to everyone involved, which has got like great content and content on there for everyone to look through. Are you guys kind of keeping abreast of that, or are you maybe stepping back slightly, or are you planning? You know, what's the aim for you guys over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think for me, Paul, I think it's you know, as hairdressers, and we're kind of keen hairdressers, it's easy to feel like you're not being busy if you're not doing something and learning something. So it's easy to get yourself completely engrossed in it, which is great. But at the same time, like you say, you do need to actually take a step back, go outdoors, and else you're kind of chasing something that's, you know, you can't get your hands on. We can't get our hands on it yet because we're not doing hair. So, you know, there's nothing like doing hair, is there? So we're torn between it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. It's great to learn and continue to learn, but at the same time, you just need to take a step back, I suppose, as well. Yeah,
I know. Like we're quite lucky. We live quite near a woodland area with it's called a mountain. There's more of a hill.
Yeah.
So we can get out and we can walk, and we have a dog, you know, which has been kind of getting us out, and, you know, getting into nature is really kind of inspiring me a little bit at the moment, just being out and getting some fresh air in. It is quite hard, obviously, being trapped indoors, but having that social media gives you maybe a bit of a release to kind of quench your creative thirst slightly. Like, Darryl, have you been creating any content, or have you been kind of following others?
Well, yeah, I've been looking around to see what's out there, but I've been creating content for my clients mainly, like little how-to videos, just to sort of keep them sane as well, because the amount, I'm sure you've had the messages, I'm sure Scott has too, people are going crazy because their colour was due this week, their colour is due next week, and they're panicking. So it's just creating little bits of content for them. I've not really got any pictures to share. So it is literally just content that I'm making at home, that I've made up a little where I'm sat here. This is where I've been doing it. And then I'm quite fortunate that I did my shoot 3 weeks ago, because that is ready to come out. So I've got content coming up, but I'm taking the time to spend it with my son. And with a family. Like we've been going on bike rides, taking the dog out. And it's time that we're never going to get back as family. Like, who gives you, because the government have been well and they have promised all this money, who gives you all this money and says stay at home and lets you have that family time? So I am sort of like spending a lot of time with family, doing a lot of stuff, but still trying to create a little bit of content for clients. And I've teamed up with a few brands to give some stuff away for people in the industry as well, just again for them to try and keep their hopes up, give them something to look forward to as well.
Perfect. So, like, I know, like, obviously stepping away from hair, and spending your days. What are you finding your top tip for quarantine kind of craziness? But anything you can help out with the viewers?
Get a Netflix account. For me, it's just I've got my bike out. I haven't rode a bike for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I was going to do the charity bike ride with the hair and beauty charity this year.
Yeah.
So it's given me time to train for that, which is nice. All I'd say is just don't think too far ahead. Take each day as it comes and just be happy, because there's no point worrying. There's no point stressing, because you don't know how long it's going to be. As long as you're healthy and everyone's looked after, it's fine.
Scott, you're a keen CrossFitter. Are you obviously taken away from you? How
I know, Paul. I had some events booked in. I was meant to go last weekend, I think, on the 21st. Yeah, I had a couple of competitions in, mate, and they're all down the drain as well. So nightmare. Even the gyms are closing everything. So even that's, I'm putting weight on, mate. It's not good.
So, guys, there we have it. Thanks very much for Scott and Darryl for joining us today. We've talked everything Project Colour, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot more of them in Project Colour 2021.
Wow, some incredible inspiration from the teams already this far. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Paul, for leading them in the way you've done. So don't forget, we're here for you, for the hairdressing community globally with the knowledge. We go live every Monday, 3 p.m. Ashley, our Chancellor, Ashley Hodges, and myself, just to connect and with you as a community. But we'll also be launching the knowledge every single Thursday at 3 p.m. With more information from our members. Next week, we'll team up with some of the projects and you'll be able to enjoy what they've got up to so far this year. Take care, stay safe, and be a fellow.